Thank you very much, Evans Muhando. Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News, our top stories. President Samia acknowledges TPDF's excellence. Chinese Vice Premier arrives. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President Samia Suluhu Hassan says the government recognizes the crucial role that Tanzania People's Defense Forces, TPDF, plays in maintaining peace. Speaking in Dar es Salaam during the 7th conference of the Chief of Defense Forces and other commanders, President Samia insists her government will continue to empower the military force through trainings to increase efficiency and professionalism. Here are more details.
The Commander-in-Chief of the Defense and Security Forces arriving to participate in the TPDF Assessment Conference. With its ability to carry out tasks professionally inside and outside of Tanzania, the military force is assured to be equipped with the capacity of building to match the pace of change in science and technology. Our defense and security agencies have to continue planning with any new arising challenges. In the past years, we knew the enemy that we were fighting. But with the advancement of technology, we hardly know the enemy within us. I urge we also become experts of technology. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, reminds the military force of the duty to maintain peace in the upcoming elections. This year, we are starting with the local government elections. It is good to be ready to deal with whatever comes. Procedures, laws and elections guidelines will be followed, but the army and all the security forces should be ready to deal with any situation that might arise. General Jacob Mkunda is the Chief of Defense Forces, who in his speech explains the main role of the 7th meeting with the commanders of the military force.
The People's Defense Force of the Republic of Tanzania continue to participate in the protection of property under the auspices of the United Nations and regional. A total of 356 officers and 497 soldiers are participating in different missions in Lebanon, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Mozambique.
The general meeting of the commanders of the Tanzanian People's Defense Forces is held every year to assess and give directions of military force in the implementation of its daily activities.
Deputy Prime Minister of the People's Republic of China, Liu Guangzhong, has arrived in the country for a 3-day visit. Upon arrival, the Chinese Deputy Prime Minister was received by his Tanzanian counterpart, who's also the Minister of Energy, Dr. Doto Biteko. While in the country, Guangzhong is expected to meet and hold talks with President Samia Suluhu Hassan and the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa. He's expected to visit various places, including the Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute, JKCI, and the Memorial Park of Graves of the Chinese experts who died during the construction of the Tazara Railway, as well as the National Museum. In other news, the government has assured the local residents in some Great Lakes countries that use Isaka Dry Port in Kahama District, Shinyanga region, that the completion of the improvement of the Central Railway line from Dar es Salaam Port to the Dar es Salaam Port will reduce transportation costs and increase the number of cargoes to and from the neighboring countries. Speaking immediately after visiting the port, the Permanent Secretary for the Transport Ministry, Professor Gaudius Kahiarara, says the government has already spent more than 600 billion shillings for the improvements. Is a report by Grayson Kakuru, read by Kanki Mwaigumole.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Professor Gordios Kayarara, has visited Isaka Dry Port located in Kahama, Shinyanga region. A port receives and transports cargo from various Great Lakes countries as well as the neighboring countries of Rwanda, Burundi and Congo.
We have completed a large area of improving the railroad from Dar es Salaam to Isaka. The rail speed will increase from 70 km to 80 per hour. Before it was 15 to 35 km per hour.
And now the improvement being made to the Central Railway line is expected to increase the efficiency of the port.
SGR will soon be completed. Operating start in July. We shall not only start with passengers, as freight wagons have already been ordered and they are along the way.
The modern standard gauge railway SGR is also expected to offer cargo services.
The government and the Port of Dar es Salaam are ready. We have so far completed 700 kilometers of the SGR railroad, which will make it easier to reach the Port of Dar es Salaam. Private sectors are welcome to grab the rising opportunity so we can both jointly venture in this area.
He reassures the government's commitment to serve local, regional and international communities to boost trade and other economic activities.
Deputy Minister for Minerals, Dr. Stephen Kiruswa, says the government is committed to researching new mining areas in order to discover new potential mines and promote the country's economy. Dr. Kiruswa made the remarks in Bulyanhulu, Kahama, in Shinyanga region while receiving the performance report of the Barrick Mining Company for the fourth quarter of the year ending December 2023, insisting that research and technology are crucial in raising the mining sector in the country. Is a report by Gervas Mwatebela, read by Mariam Mubiru.
The Ministry of Minerals, through the Vision 2030, focuses on exploring new areas to reduce grievances among citizens competing for areas that have been thoroughly researched for new mines. Deputy Minister of Minerals, Dr. Stephen Kiruswa, calls on the Barrick Company to cooperate with the government in conducting mineral exploration to expand the scope of mining areas in the country.
The Ministry of Minerals is currently implementing a vision called Vision 2030 with the aim of eliminating conflict within people or communities trying to cling to a few areas that have been extensively researched, of which until now 16% of the land has been researched. There should be an expansion of the scope of research, of which we have started investing in strategies using drones in the regions of Dodoma and Geita.
Barrick Gold Chief Executive Dr. Mark Bristow says the North Mara and Bulyanhulu gold mines have sustained their strong performance and have achieved their production guidance for 2023.
And every dollar we make or every shilling we make, we split it 50-50. And already you can see the success of this partnership. Today, it's not only about mining, it's about investing in education. Because why? Mining is a big employer. If we don't invest in education, we won't have anyone to work on our mines. We also look and are so proud to see how the Tanzanian people, through the leadership of Her Excellency the President, have really re-established Tanzania as a real democracy, attractive to investment. And we're proud to see how the tourism is growing, of course the mining industry is growing, and the agricultural industry is growing, and soon we'll see, like we will see in Kahama, the manufacturing and services industry.
Bristow says since Barrick took over the Tanzanian mines in 2019, they have grown its investment to more than $3.4 billion, and it is the largest contributor for the government revenue through taxes, employment, payments to local suppliers.
Director General of Tanzania Agricultural Research Institute, TARI, Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, says while Tanzania is estimated to have 21 million hectares of land suitable for the rice cultivation, production of the crop has been low due to only 1,700,000 hectares being cultivated. He made the revelation in the Mbeya region during the launch of the second study of the rice farming project, aiming to increase the crop productivity and benefit the farmers. Is a report by Adolf Mbata, read by Kanki Maigomole.
It is a meeting involving 17 countries, and they're here for the launch of the second phase of the project that targets to explore ways to increase the rice crop productivity. These countries from the south of the Sahara Desert benefit from the program under the funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Here, Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, who is the Director General of the TARI Research Institute, elaborates how the project will benefit Tanzania.
Yes, on this TARI and the ERI strategy, which is in line with our Agenda 1030, that agriculture should actually grow up to 10% by year 2030. That's our vision. But we also talk about the rice production. As we have said, right now we produce 4 million metric tons, but we only consume around 1.5 million tons. So we have a surplus, and we intend to double rice production by year 2030. So I know this is strategy, our coordinator has already said the themes under this strategy. It has covered almost everything that we discussed yesterday. Thank you again, the team, Rosie, for the coordination.
Speaking on the importance of the program, the Director General of the International Rice Research Institute, Dr. Hans Badwaji, together with the Regional Breeding Lead Africa, Dr. Jay Pachibai, said the program has shown great results for Western countries and Africa.
Time is harder for the local people. So I think the role and the importance of the local partners is so important that we cannot think of anything in isolation. Yeah, the Africa Rice is going to come and bring us a cookie here and all the problem will be solved. Similarly, IRI cannot do that. It has to be local partners, including TARI. And that
is really going to focus on the key gaps that this region has been experiencing for many years. And together with Africa Rice and IRI, and of course together with all the national partners under the I would say guidance coming from BMGF, because this project is supported by Bill and Melinda Gates. The project is going to be for 5 years.
Initially opening the meeting, the Mbeya Regional Commissioner Juma Homera says that the research and funding will help in achieving rice production goals.
Aware that this event is about to accelerating rice productivity, particularly in Africa. For us in Tanzania, rice is an important crop with more than 80% of the farming households. About 2 million people are engaged in rice production.
Dr. Dennis Tipe is the director of TARI in Uyole, together with Dr. Rosemary Murori, explain how the second phase of the research will change the lives of farmers.
We are also focusing in how to put effort in our research and in genetic gain for the variety replacement. As you know, we have been working intensively in a rain-fed rice production systems, but now with the drastic and the change, particularly in Tanzania, we are only using 20%. 12% from rain-fed rice production ecosystem.
Security is a very big challenge. So as we develop technologies that are more resilient to climate change, making sure that we start with making sure that the farmers have good varieties zenye zinastahimili magonjwa, and then we also have ugonjwa mwingine unaitwa blast. So not only do we look at developing varieties that are high yielding, we are also developing varieties that are resilient to diseases.
The government, through the President's Office, Planning and Investment, in collaboration with development stakeholders in the country, have come up with a project to improve the business environment in the country, known as a Blueprint for Regulatory Reform to Improve Business Environment, Mkumbi. Speaking to journalists in Dar es Salaam during the meeting, aimed to receive information on the implementation of the Mkumbi project, so stakeholders identify how the project will bolster positive progress to the investment sector in the country.
UNIDO is the implementing agency for the component 2, focusing on strengthening the quality infrastructure system of Tanzania. We know the importance of quality in assessing the market in terms of competitiveness, particularly in the context we are working in the continent, not only the AFCFTA, but also at the regional level. Strengthening the capacity, the quality infrastructure system is key in ensuring that the SMEs, the startup, the SMEs, and also the big enterprises can really get access to those markets and ensure that the structural transformation process of Tanzania economy is taking place in a sustainable manner.
The questions that we discussed this morning were, what is the definition of a startup in order to help them grow? And the last point we discussed in that regard was, what transition can we make from these seed funding to startup in order to help them keep on growing with more access to finance after?
As explained, the program is producing very positive results, and we look forward to working with the government and EU and other stakeholders to really unleash the potential of Tanzanian talents, especially young entrepreneurs, and increasing number of them are female.
On the other hand, Permanent Secretary, President's Office Planning and Investment, Dr. Tausi Kida, says through the implementation of Mkumbi project, the nation will continue to excel in trade and investment and in continuing to nurture startups initiated by young people to create more employment opportunities. In other news, women from all over the African continent meet in the Mozambican capital, Maputo, in a conference to discuss gender equality. During the meeting, the country has launched the national version of the We Are Equal campaign, a movement by African First Ladies to close the gender gap in the continent. Here's a report by Erdito Nhatave from Mozambique.
First ladies from Mozambique, Botswana, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and Nigeria, as well as representatives from Eswatini and Rwanda, met in Maputo for the International Conference on Gender Equality in Africa, an event led under the Organization of African First Ladies for Development. The First Ladies witnessed the launching of the We Are Equal movement in Mozambique. The We Are Equal movement is centered on leveling the field in health, education, and economic empowerment and ending gender-based violence. The Mozambican First Lady, Isaura Nyusi, who hosted the conference, shared some of the achievements of her office in promoting health and education services for girls and women in the country.
Este programa proporciona melhores oportunidades de educação.
We support a campaign that aims at keeping about 600 primary school girls in the education system till the end. We also launched a campaign to educate women and girls about breast and cervical cancer prevention and early treatment.
The International Conference on Gender Equality in Africa was opened by the Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi, who highlighted the achievements of his government in bridging the gender gap.
Moçambique alcançou a paridade de gênero a nível.
Mozambique achieved gender equality at the Council of Ministers level. We have also increased the number of women in higher government positions at all levels, from central to local government posts.
All of the First Ladies present at the conference also shared their experiences in leading campaigns to promote gender equality in their countries. Those experiences will be useful in Mozambique, where the We Are Equal movement is expected to replicate at local levels. The wives of political leaders signed a joint commitment to pick up the campaign at local levels.
And on that note, we are ending our news bulletin for tonight. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.
Tukisubiri kumpata nani mbabe wa Afrika kwenye michuano ya AFCON, TBC kipute mserereko inakupa ndege ya chini. Mabibi na mabwana, ni Subaru Forester. Wakati huo draw za kila siku zitakupa $500,000 mpaka $500,000 kwenye kila mechi, huku ukiingia